As you can see, I've started throwing in text labels here for my various objects, not only to help me remember what's what inside the wireframe, but also, of course, to communicate to the potential client as well. Now, also, I wanted to point out that at the end of the last lesson, I mentioned that you could set up multiple columns. You could divide your layout into thirds if you wanted to, and as you can see, I've done exactly that. I've gone and thrown in some extra guides using the exact same method that we had seen previously. It just takes a little bit of math to figure out exactly where all your guides will wind up. So what I'll do is I'll very quickly show you the X value for each of these 4 new guides here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right-click on one of my guides and head down to Lock Guides to unlock them. That's kind of a faster way to unlock your guides. So this first guy here is 316. And then the next guy is 326. I'm just blasting through this. I hope that's okay with you. And then the third guide there, the third of the 4 new guides, is 632. And last but not least, we have 642. So all I did is I took the full width of our layout, which was 960, and I subtracted 40. So 10 on the left, 10 on the right, and then 10 in between each of the columns. And then I just figured out my positioning from there, right? It just took some quick math. It was really no big deal. Okay, I'm just going to right-click on my guides again and lock them up there. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is I want to build out the 3 boxes that our design, that our layout is calling for. I'm not expecting that you remember this, but we have 3 boxes there: Why Karate, Meet Your Sensei, and Tour Our Dojo. So what I'll do is I'll grab my rectangle tool out of the toolbox, and then I'll lay out a quick rectangle. I'm starting to try to be a little bit more precise. I'm using my guides to help me lay down these guys. Notice too, I just happened to catch this. I threw down my object, and I expect because I was messing around with guides, it's now removed my fill and my stroke color. And don't forget, I can hit the D key on my keyboard to restore the default fill and stroke there. So now I have that set for my selected rectangle. Okay, now just a couple of quick things for you here. I'm going to go back and grab my black arrow tool. This object that we create should be 306 pixels in width. My guides helped me with that. And the height on these guys should be 295 pixels, something like that. Okay, great. Again, I'm just going to use my up arrow key just to nudge this guy up just a little bit, something like that. Looks wonderful. I'm going to grab this slideshow text label. For yourself, if you haven't added in your text labels, grab your type tool, hit the T key on your keyboard, and type in a text label. For this guy, I'm going to duplicate him just by holding down Option on the Mac side here, or Alt on the PC side, and I'll just drag him down here, something like this. There we go. And he's actually behind this other rectangle. We could get into a discussion on stacking order. Let's not. I'm going to go up to the Object menu here, and then down to Arrange, and then Bring to Front. Oftentimes, I just use my keyboard shortcuts there. Okay, there we are. Now, I'm going to change this text just by double-clicking on it. I'm going to change that from slideshow to Why Karate. All right, there we go. Okay, so there's the first of the 3 boxes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first box that we've created and just duplicate it across for the other 2 boxes. So I'm going to click and drag to select both the text and the rectangle. Once again, I'm going to hold down Alt or Option and click and drag out to get a duplicate. But before I let go of the mouse and the Alt or Option key, throw in the Shift key, and that will lock in your movement to the horizontal position, something like that. Perfect. Okay, great. We have that in. Let's do that one more time for the 3rd box. Again, I'm holding down Option or Alt and dragging out, and I'm throwing in the Shift key there as well. Okay, there we go. There's our 3 boxes. Let's go and change our text. So we have Why Karate. The second one is going to be Meet Your Sensei. Something like that. And the last one, if you'll remember, is Tour Our Dojo. Okay, there we go. All right. Our wireframing is really coming along nicely here. I know I'm throwing a lot at you here too. Again, if you've been working with Illustrator for a while, you probably know tricks like how to duplicate and working with your align panel and setting up your guides and so on. But I want to go through this just to make sure we're all on the same page and everything's making sense. So things are looking really, really good here. One final thing that I have to mention is to save your file. Make sure you save your file. I saved my file quite some time ago, and I didn't do it during recording. I just saved this file as wireframe.ai, and I saved it inside my project files folder. So go ahead and do the same thing there and periodically save along the way as we go as well. All right, great.